Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. Hello, residents of Watts Island. Today we will be delving into Shannann Watts's pregnancies. What were Chris Watts's reactions to each one, and were they genuine? We will also be exploring the rumor that his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, became pregnant with Chris Watts's child. Join us today on Watts Island for all the juicy details. I'm going to roll some credits while we wait for the rest of the Watts Island crew to roll in. Shout out to my replay crew and my dragonflies. I love you guys.
Devil is drumming his old guitar again. Words rolling out into our fire. If heaven had wings, I would steal them and fly away with you for a while. Hearing the essence of gratitude, your dreamy little smile on my lips. I miss my cue, but baby, I had you. Miss my cue, but I had you for that day. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you.
Yeah, the essence of gratitude. It's so good to be back here on Watts Island with my crew. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Science, Not Stigma and Addiction. How are you two? Hi, everybody out there in the outer fields. How's everyone doing? Yes, this is going to be good. I have noticed that one of my more popular short that's been going on lately is the one where Chris Watts goes into what I guess is Bella's room, and he finds out that Shannann is pregnant with CeCe from her. She must have hid the pee stick or something. So that's a really popular short right now. So I thought that that would lead us into looking at all the pregnancies, including the rumored pregnancy of Nicole Kessinger. I did find a few things on that, including a possible photo. But that'll be more towards the end. And also, I want to go over at the very end. Frankie Rzuceks' lawsuit has been finalized with the content creator. So I want to go over that too at the very end. But first, we're going into the pregnancies. The first one we're going to take a look at, which is the one that we have the most information on, is Nico. So we're going to look at Nico, and then we're going to kind of do the two girls together. And then we're going to look at Nicole Kessinger because it's been rumored that she had a baby. Okay, so, and this is all for educational and entertainment purposes only, all my research. I urge you to go out there and do your own. And yeah, so, and it's all my opinion. All right, let me get my screen together. Hello, everyone. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Science, Not Stigma. It's good to see everyone here. All right. Share my screen. All right. So Shannann Watts and her pregnancy. First off, I think it's important to mention that it's always been said that due to Shannann's lupus, had always told people that she was unable, that she thought she might not be able to get pregnant. And so Shannann Watts beats odds to have children despite lupus. I have a few autoimmunes, and I've never been able to get pregnant. I've had testing done, and I tried to do some stuff, but it just never worked for me. And so, but I also had endometriosis. So, but I think Shannann had some endometriosis too, but don't quote me on that. but Shannann had lupus, and doctor had told her that because of lupus, this would likely prevent her from getting pregnant. So everything that we view or talk about during this live, all my research will be down in the YouTube show notes. Over on YouTube, we will often not read everything in its entirety or watch everything in its entirety, but never fear, the links for everything will be down in the YouTube show notes. Today we're coming to you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So hi everyone. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, a star, a heart, however you do it on the platform you're coming to us on. That would help us out tremendously. It's a free way to help us dance out into the algorithm. Party out there, bring more exciting people back to the party. And it's really, really appreciated. Hi, Olga. Daniel says, hello, looking forward to a good show. Maybe someday we can organize in a way which lawfully compels NK to finally answer some real questions. Isn't it interesting? Because I always compared NK, I don't know why, but I think she's kind of like Casey Anthony, and that I thought that NK would stay hidden like Casey Anthony was staying hidden. Like Casey Anthony peeps her little toe out here and there to make some money, and she's peeping her little toe out now. So it made me think like, I wonder in a few years, is this going to be NK when she needs to peep her little toe out and make a little money? Will she be doing a Casey Anthony? We can only hope, because then maybe that's when we'll get some answers. Anyway, so it was rumored that Shannann couldn't have babies due to her autoimmunes and her lupus, but that just wasn't the case. Over on Reddit, people were wondering, why have another baby? They said, I used to believe the recent pregnancy was Chris's idea, but you hold on. Where is... This isn't the one that I wanted to look at first. I rearranged everything at the last minute. I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. This is the one I wanted to look at. I moved it forward. Okay, so why have another baby? The question is, Shannann didn't seem to love motherhood, which I don't agree with. I think that Shannann absolutely adored motherhood. I'll never say that Shannann was a perfect person, because no person is perfect. But I don't trash Shannann here on my channel. But I also don't, like, if she made a mistake, I'll say she made a mistake. But I believe that Shannann simply adored motherhood. I think Shannann was born to be a mother. I think Shannann had a family that had flaws that she was raised in. She was doing better when she knew better, and that was the type of person she was. And so I don't agree with that. But why did she decide to have a third? Did she really want a boy? I think she had a third because she knew that Chris wanted to have a boy. Did she love babies? I think she did. Did she love pregnancy? I think she did. Was it a distraction from the problems in her marriage? I think it was. Why do you think SW decided to have a third child? What do you guys think about all of that? All of your pregnancies were terrible? I always had a feeling like if I were to get pregnant, I knew my pregnancy would be a hard one. I have lupus and endometriosis. Yeah, I have 3 kids. Last set of twins, all 3 girls. Oh, congratulations. That's amazing that you were able to have a baby. I know they were worried. It was one of the reasons I couldn't. I have immune issues and endometriosis and have secondary infertility. Was told I would have trouble to begin with, but had 2 kids. Shannann didn't lie. Doctors will say that. Yeah. I mean, maybe they just say that because just so she doesn't. I don't know. Because I don't think they hadn't even really tried. I think she just immediately went to the fertility treatment. which is fine because that's what the doctors told her. I think Shannann had a serious case of Munchausen syndrome, to include Munchausen syndrome by proxy involving her kids. I don't agree with that, but I know there are people out there that think that. But I'm an ex-social worker for the foster care system, and I like to think, well, I don't know. I don't agree with it. But we're all free to have our own feelings over here. I don't censor those. And I don't try to make you think how I think either. Okay, so let's keep going. This person says, I can't stop thinking about the baby reveal video. So we're going to start talking about Nico first. When Shannann shows him the shirt and they're having another baby, I don't know how to even describe his reaction. Literally grasping at any sort of excitement he can muster up to be convincing. He has said that he was already conversing with NK at this point, which I believe he had been conversing with her for a while, not the short amount of time that they wanted us to believe. But they go on to say, but I'm less concerned about Chris's reaction, more at Shannann's, when to me it seems she can 100% see through his facade. Her tone flattens when his reaction is clearly not what she hoped or expected. And when he asks about the pink line being a girl, first of what a effing idiot. And she says in such a dejected tone, it's just a test. Like they were already on the rocks beforehand, but I feel this confirms so many of her fears and concerns. I feel he annoyed the ever living F out of her, and it was probably time for them to separate anyway. And obviously he was doing the same to her. She wasn't hiding her annoyance. He hid hers to a point where the communication just wasn't there. It wasn't there. So we're going to take a look at the video. Let me see what you guys are saying though, because I'm not on the same screen. Shannann, of course, been an amazing mommy. She only got 4 years to be a mommy too. I just really, regarding Shannann's love for motherhood, I had 3 kids and finished a full pre-med curricula for pharmacy school while working part-time as a nurse, and never once set my kids in timeout. Well, that's great, but a lot of people use timeout for discipline purposes. So I don't see a problem with timeout. Hi, Joseph. Never too late, always right on time. SW wanted the children for status. Yeah, I think that a lot of women feel that if you don't have the children, you're incomplete. Because I know I went through that period of my life where I was like, man, I still even think about that to this day. Like, I think about that because I think about generational curses and stuff. And like, if I'm going to become a better person, am I even breaking generational curses if I'm not reproducing? I mean, these are things that I think are put into all females' heads and we think about. And women have the motherly instinct. We have this urge, and a lot of us have an urge and a desire, and a lot of us don't. And I think it's becoming more okay to not have children. And I'm much more appreciative of that kind of life than where you have to grow up, you have to get married, you have to have kids, and, maybe work a part-time job. But, I don't know. I think she enjoyed it. I think she liked being a mom. I've been a social worker too and worked with CPS. We saw a Munchausen case and I saw signs I just didn't see from Shannann. Again, just your opinion, and I welcome all opinions. If you had anything in particular you wanted me to look at, I'm always happy to look at it. I'll have to tell you this, that the Rzuceks don't like me because I see both sides of every story. If you don't like her, if you don't like Shannann, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I liked her, and that's my opinion, and everyone's open to have their own opinion. And I say the Rzuceks don't like me because Sandy has struck my channel before because I shared a video of the cemetery. And I've also said things like the MLM was crap. And I just hope that if she were still alive to this day, she wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. And they don't like me because I say both sides to every story. And that's just who I am. I'm done trying to pretend that I'm one way or another way. I sit in this yin yang kind of state of my life, and it's just as frustrating for me, but I can see every side to a story. And then I make my mind up and I go with it like that. And I feel like Shannann and the girls were victims. They were victims of Chris Watts. And I feel like the Watts are victims of Chris Watts, and the Rzuceks are victims of Chris Watts. And I put my anger and my angst solely into Chris Watts and the mistress, usually. So, okay, so let's take a quick look at the baby reveal video that they are talking about. We all know this baby reveal video, the "Oops, we did it again" video. I also think this was in the earlier days of social media, where the MLMs had just taken hold, and they were like, yeah, you need to, grab onto the socials, and they had flooded the socials, and they had found new ways to advertise. And we hadn't had all these CeCe Suarez and all these other videos, these content creators coming out telling us like how awful, like just walking us through the pitfalls and the dangers of MLMs. If you knew about them already, then bravo to you. But I have to say that the Watts case was the one that really opened my eyes about MLMs. And this was what her MLM told her to do, and she did it. And a lot of women do it. And I just hope once they learn better, they stop doing this. Oh, all right. You think she did not? Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. I apologize, Science. I don't think she had it.
I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome. So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome.
And then he goes back and says, wow, when you want it to happen, it happens.
I like that shirt.
He has said, and I always think about it right here when he comes in, he has said that he was talking with NK and he just wasn't happy. And I don't think he ever liked the dog either. I think he's just, you can tell the dog just,
Sweet.
He never bends down as much as I know.
I like that shirt.
He walks like a robot up to her.
Really?
And she does say deadpan, really.
Awesome.
But we're going to look at the CeCe video, and she kind of says it very similar when he's trying to find her, and he's like, where is she? And she says, I'm behind here. So
pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. It just says the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know. Just the test.
That's awesome.
you could tell she was a little on edge when he said, is it, what does pink mean? And she's like, it's just a test. I could feel her nerves there too. In my experience with Munchausen's, the perpetrators often make major sensational life and death, acute health claims, or claim to be a disability. SW's kids had minor chronic issues. They had chronic issues that a lot of children have. You know, the whole tonsils in the ears and getting ear tubes. And I never could have children, but I've worked like in doing the social work. You know, I ran the children's center and some of the domestic shelters I worked at. I created a program for children, stuff like that. So I do know a lot about children, and have worked with them quite a bit. And all of the health issues that these kids had, they were very common health issues. There were even health issues like growing up. I was like a mother's helper for my aunt because she couldn't get pregnant for like, I think she started having babies when I was 10 or 11. So and then she had 3. And so, you know, during my teens, I was like the mother, I was the babysitter of the family. So, you know, and I remember them all getting tubes in their ears and just having coughing problems. One had asthma, and I know Sandy has said that she has almost died. Shannann's mom has said that she has almost died as a child with her asthma. So, oh shoot. Hold on a second, you guys. Facebook is having some issues connecting. Let me see if I can fix it really quick. I've been having a lot of problems this week, like a lot of problems that I'm just trying to remain calm. With the whole new Trump thing, my disability has been cut and retroactive cut. So it's not just like a few $100s cut this month. It's like nearly half my check cut. They're retroactively taking money from me because they're no longer paying for my Part B, and I've got to figure it out. And I've talked to some people, and it's happening all over. So if your Part B is paid by another insurance, you need to be careful because shit's going down. And so I went out to try to get my medication today, and that was a whole fiasco because of all of this. And then the place I went to, they couldn't take anything but cash. And so then I had to figure out how to get cash. And it's just been a day. I think something is in the stars because it's just one thing after another people are being hit with. And yeah. And I had to this was the month where I was going to make a whopping rent payment, right? God. But next month it'll only be like 200 less instead of 600 less. So, and at least I'm making more money with YouTube, and I'll get my YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, trying not to freak out about it all. But I think stuff is going down in the universe. So just be warned, because Venus did go retrograde. I don't know if you guys believe in the stars, but I'm a woo-woo girl and I believe in all the star stuff. And I talk about Mercury retrograde, but Venus went retrograde. So that's another retrograde planet that's causing some problems. But that was why I didn't do the live last night. I was just really stressed out. But I need to keep doing this. And let's just keep going. I don't even know why I brought that up. So do you guys think that NK knew about the pregnancy? Do you think that the person, let me think, it would have been in November, December, January, February. Do you think that NK knew about the pregnancy? She tried to pretend like she didn't know about it, but I've always thought she knew about it, because how could she have not known about it? Because we knew she was stalking Shannann. We knew about the ugly faces when Shannann was doing that live in November. Someone went into her chat and was doing just mean stuff inside the chat. We knew about that, and then these flowers appeared out of nowhere in another live soon after. And but NK has always tried to pretend like she didn't know Shannann was pregnant, even though Shannann had her channel wide open on Facebook. And if I don't care who you are, most women, if you find out, especially, all right, most women want to know who the person they're with, who their last person is with, what is. You just do, and you look at them. If you find out who they are, you look at them. And I don't believe for a second that not only was this man not divorced from Shannann, but supposed to be separating from Shannann, but still living in the house with Shannann, and that woman never checked her out. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And no, I don't believe it. Did NK actually know about SW's pregnancy? NK maintains that she had no clue SW was pregnant. There's no evidence she knew. There wasn't text between her and Chris or anyone else that indicated she knew about the pregnancy. But is it possible she actually knew and pretended not to know? I just don't see how, in this age of social media, a mistress wouldn't Google her lover's wife, especially if she was interested enough in him to spend 2 hours looking up wedding dresses. Women are like the FBI. One search for SW and she would have came across all her public videos and posts on Facebook exposing Chris's lies. We want to scope our competition even if their marriage is supposedly over. They were still living together. I'm finding it a bit difficult to believe she really had no clue. Did any of the coworkers know SW was expecting? Yes, they did. I don't even have to think about it. They absolutely did. Agree. NK had to have known. Had to have. Hello, Dragonfly. Hi, Jennifer. The Dragonflies is our membership program over on YouTube. It's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early to the Dragonflies. I am about to release some merch. I had an artist draw some things up for us. I just need to get it onto some content for you. And that will be at a discount for my Dragonflies. I do posts and videos, especially for the Dragonflies. We have special emojis, stuff like that. It's just a way for me to support you a little extra and a little way for you to support me extra. I'll do a video at the end, and you can, if you want to join, you can do that. I would love to have you, and it's good to see a dragonfly in here. All right, so I think that NK 100% knew. This person over here wants to know, though, I'm convinced that NK knew about the pregnancy due to the pregnancy announcement on Facebook and the visibility of Shannann's Facebook page. However, I don't think NK knew the gender of the baby. Yeah, I don't know if she knew the gender yet because they had canceled that gender thing. But she did lay out that, she wanted to have her son, a son for him. So she was laying the groundwork for sure. It hadn't yet been announced on Facebook, and the gender reveal had been postponed. We know she was desperate to give Chris his first son, and so I don't think we would have told her it was a boy for fear of upsetting her. I don't think he would have either. However, time was running out for Chris. I think if Shannann had, if they had successfully gotten the baby to miscarry, I don't think he would have unalived them all, though. I think the Nico was the deciding factor that made it so that she had to go. And so did the girls. And I think the girls had to go because I had heard that they were starting to be mouthy to him, like Shannann spoke to him. They were starting to speak to him that way. And I think that was what cemented it for the girls. This is my opinion, and that's horrible to say. Sometimes this case is just the things that you say because of the case. It's just horrible. This, in my opinion, is why he acted the way he did. All the other stress in their lives, the finances, and Shannann wanting to sort their marriage out were nothing new for him. But Nico and the gender reveal had a time limit and couldn't be put off. With every week that passed, the baby was growing, and he had already tried to make her miscarry and failed. I feel that if it weren't for the baby, and especially it being a boy, Chris would have tried to juggle his double lives for a bit longer. What do you guys think? I think there's some real validity. Validity. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, I think it's valid. Hi, Victoria from Australia. It's good to see you. Hi, Laura Lynn. Laura Lynn is our lady in blue. She's our moderator. If you have any questions or any needs, you can direct them to her, and you can send her some blue hearts to show her love if you want to. I sure do love her. Agree, NK had to have known. Was his daughter getting, yeah, he said that the daughters were starting to talk to him like Shannann was, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it one bit. Okay, so Shannann was starting to feel a certain kind of way about all of this, and in her text, she starts saying things like, Chris is saying things like, I don't want to have this baby. Newly released text reveals Shannann Watts' anxiety over growing family. A new batch of documents have been released in the case that a Frederick man sentenced to prison for the murder of his pregnant wife and children. Christopher Watts confessed at the time of her death, Shannann was pregnant with the couple's third child, a boy named Nico. The young girls' bodies were found submerged in oil tanks on property owned by the company for which Watts worked. His wife's body was found in a shallow grave nearby. Newly released text messages between Shannann and a friend further reveal a crumbling marriage and hesitation to bring a new baby into the family. Texts sent by Shannann include the phrases, I don't want to have this baby. I can't do this alone with 3 kids. I'm not happy and I can't do this. Here she says, he hasn't responded. That's hard. I don't want to have this baby. The friend says, what? I can't do this alone with 3 kids. I'm not happy. This baby was made with love. And the friend says, and what's happening is temporary. You guys love each other, which every friend would probably do for a friend that, at first you're like, no, it's okay that, he wants the baby. You want the baby. It's okay. She says, I asked again because he ignored me and he said, no, I can't do this. And this person says, yes, you can be strong. Additional messages read, Chris doesn't want this baby, said he's scared to death and he's happy with just Bella and Celeste. He thought he wanted another baby. How I got this out of him, I said, do you want me to ABORT? And the friend says, if you care, he cares. And she said, I just said I'm out back. And she said, good. And Shannann says, if he did, I shouldn't have to text him. My parents told him he's still inside. And the friend's like, oh. And then she says, Chris doesn't want this baby, said he's scared to death and he's happy with just Bella and Celeste. He thought he wanted another baby. How I got this out of him, I said, do you want me to ABORT? And the friend says, oh, mama, that's hardcore. A follow-up interview with Nicole Kessinger, the woman Watts was dating at the time of his family's death, include Kessinger's claims to police that she found out about Shannann's pregnancy through media reports, but she said he reiterated that the baby was not his. I was pretty taken back by that. I just felt kind of like disappointed with him. And now with the situation, I mean, if she's pregnant, that's the beautiful thing. That was information that definitely would help for me. So I have to find that out to the media and ask him about it. Yesterday, he kept telling me, he's like, it's not mine. It's not mine. And he just kept telling me it wasn't his. I was just like really surprised. And I was just like please tell me the truth. When I read all these likes, I know I need to stop saying like so much. Please don't lie to me like this, she told investigators, later adding, and then he finally came clean and he was like, yeah, it's mine. Prior to Watts' confession to killing his wife, Kessinger expressed doubt regarding Watts' honesty surrounding his family's disappearance. I'm getting to the point with the situation where I'm very concerned about his wife and children and his whole situation. I'm sure everybody else with this situation. And after like finding out like, oh yeah, like I've also got this child on the way and he just wasn't very honest with me. I told him, please give me time to heal and please give me time to process this. And he's like, are we done? Are we done? And I told him, I said, no, we're not. Yes, we are, but he doesn't need to know that. I just told him that because I was just like trying to find a way to like distance myself from him without alerting him that I'm really uncomfortable with everything that's going on right now. I told him numerous times yesterday that I was scared. I told him that I'm scared, not because felt like for like my own safety, but I told him like I'm scared because I don't know where he got scared because I'm scared for them. And then I don't know why. Wait, I'm scared because I don't know where she got scared because I'm scared for them. And when I told him, the fact that you weren't honest with me, like, I don't feel like I know you as long as I did. As at the sentencing, the district attorney said Watts strangled 34-year-old Shannann Watts and smothered the couple's 2 children, Bella 4 and Celeste 3. So she's really laying into like, I am getting a like jar. My next live, expect a like jar for me, you guys. I'm doing it. I'm stopping my like habit. All right. So share, like, and subscribe, please. Thank you, Arlen. All right. So she's really leaning into that she didn't know anything about it. What they're talking about, this is where it first started coming out here that Chris believed that Nico was not his. And then it started coming out. I don't know if he ever fully said it, but then the rumor mill started coming out saying that he said CeCe was never fully his. But we're about to get into that. I just want to take one more quick look at the girls' reaction to the pregnancy of Nico.
Mommy has a baby in her belly. Are you guys excited? Yes. Yes? Are you really excited? Oh my goodness. Come give me hugs. Oh. I love you, girl.
I got the baby a hug.
You want to give the baby a hug? I love you, Bella. You're so sweet. Give me a kiss.
Mommy.
Yes, baby. Hey, Bella, how many babies do I have in my belly?
5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's a lot of
I
babies.
don't think you ever get cured from endometriosis. I know I had to have laparoscopy to have it removed.
You better grow up really quickly. 'Cause I need help.
A few times I had to have laparoscopy.
It's already tough. It's already tough.
You didn't kiss the baby?
No.
Do you kiss the baby in the morning and at night? Before bed?
I'm kissing it right now.
You're so funny.
Well,
Bella, I think, was a good big sister. I think that she enjoyed helping Shannann, and I think she was very happy. I think CeCe would have ended up being very jealous of the baby, but would have grown into it.
I'm going to kiss it in your bed, my bed, and your bed.
Want I tuck you in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sleep in your bed.
Oh, I know. But you sleep in your bed like a big
I
girl.
want to sleep in your bed.
And so these were some cute reactions that the girls did. Here are some photos. the Oops, We Did It Again photo. These are photos that were taken over on Facebook of Shannann. This is from Shining Light's channel. Here's a little photo of Nico, a little picture of him in the womb, a little peanut. No 5 babies. Here's a photo of the family. And then they go into the photos of her pregnancy during the North Carolina trip. This is a little dark here. Chris Watts, Shannann Watts gave birth in her final moments. So in her final moments, it is rumored that she gave birth in the grave.
Video, we want to issue a warning. The details we will be discussing are graphic and sensitive in nature, and they may not be suitable for all viewers. The content involves violence and the tragic loss of life, which could be distressing for some. Please use discretion when deciding whether to continue watching.
This holds true for this whole entire video. This is a very hard video.
The detail that her unborn baby, Nico, was found outside her body adds another heartbreaking layer to this devastating case. This suggests that the violence inflicted upon Shannann was not only fatal to her but also tragically resulted in the loss of her child before he even had a chance at life. Chris Watts later revealed even more disturbing details in a jailhouse letter. He wrote that as he dug the hole to bury Shannann, it initially seemed deeper than it was. As he pulled on the sheet, she rolled out and landed face down in the hole. He thought she had given birth, and, driven by anger, admitted that he refused to change her position in the grave. This shows not only a shocking level of disrespect for her body but also deep-seated hatred that lingered even after her death. The fact that he expressed anger toward Shannann in her final moments adds a chilling layer to this already horrifying crime. The autopsy confirmed that Shannann's amniotic sac, containing the fetus, was protruding from her vaginal area. This indicates the extent of the trauma she endured. It's not just the violence of the murder itself that stands out, but the utter disregard for the life she carried. Both Shannann and her unborn son were stripped of their dignity in death. The coldness with which Chris handled their bodies is a stark reminder of the depths of his cruelty. Watts' letter and his actions raise critical questions about the mentality behind these murders. Was his anger toward Shannann truly the driving force behind the way he treated her remains, or was it simply a way for him to rationalize his own guilt? His behavior doesn't suggest panic or regret, rather, it highlights his calculated and heartless nature. Even after taking her life, he showed no remorse, only frustration with her. This calls into question whether Chris ever truly valued his family, or if they were merely obstacles to his own selfish desires. David Maloney, from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, further emphasized the callousness when he described Shannann's burial. He noted how she was curled up as if she had been discarded like trash, and not buried with any sense of care. This contrasts with other crime scenes, where victims are often placed in a more respectful manner, even by those who have committed violent acts. It's disturbing that Chris Watts treated the people he was supposed to love with such disdain, even in death.
So it's rumored that she was found and she had given birth in the grave. So it is disgusting the way he treated Shannann in her death and the way he treated the girls in their death as well. We did a video. Also, this is a daytime live, so I do have the little baby bird in the background. If you hear that squeaking, squawking, that's Mr. Junebug. Yeah. So we did a video 11 months ago, and because I was just sick of it. I had been hearing all this stuff about CeCe being the other Chris's child, and I needed to dive into it and figure out why this was being said. And so if you are, like I said, I will put the link to everything. We're going to take a quick look at the whole Nico and CW is Nico and CW is Nico and CeCe, sorry, CW's child. But first, let me see what you guys are saying over here. Gen X. Ooh, I love Gen X. I'm a Gen Xer too. The girls were great, but they did have some obvious behavior issues. Yeah, all children do. So they were definitely a handful for Shannann. Another child on top of this would have been stressful. Yeah, it would have been horrible, to be honest with you. But I mean, families do it every day. And and people have babies for the wrong reason every day. To try to save a marriage is the worst thing to do, in my opinion. CW was torturing her mentally. Yeah, he was, instead of telling her, but he does that now to his family. He tortures them mentally instead of telling her what he was feeling. She gave him a green light to talk, and he flatly refused her. I think Shannann was like at the point where she was like, oh yeah, I know I need to change my behavior because this isn't working. But I don't think Chris was at that point where he was able to he was never going to be able to change his behavior. He was just hoping she would miscarry so he could go into another disastrous relationship where another woman controlled him, because NK was going to control him and then some. Yes, Frankie Jr. said SW had endometriosis when she was, oh, I already read that. Sorry. Yeah. So, Shannann was dominant. And here's the thing, and Chris was submissive. And here's the thing, I'm a dominant woman. And so you have to be really careful, the men that you meet, because, and I know, like, I can look at a man and be like, yeah, I would destroy him. And I don't even try. Like, I just know that we would not be a good match, because I don't know. I just know that my attitude, my willfulness, my strong demeanor isn't for everyone. And I recognize that because I recognize it in Shannann. I have a lot of similar traits as Shannann. I feel like I can will things to happen with my mind alone. And there's a lot of people that know me well will say, Amy can will things to happen with her mind alone. I have a very powerful mind, but here's the thing. Your mind, when it's powerful, it can be used for good and bad. I know I can have a powerful mind, and I could create a lot of destruction too if I wanted to. So when you're a strong person, you have to be very careful. And when you are a person that just goes along to get along, like Chris Watts, you see someone like Shannann and you're like, wow, like, yeah, I want that. And he probably saw the same in NK, because NK has a, as much as I don't like to say nice things about her because I don't like her, but she has a presence too. She has this thing about her that draws men in, and and Chris wanted it. And Chris was a weak man, and they weren't well suited together, because Chris was never going to be able to speak up for himself. And what do you do with that? What do you do with somebody who won't tell you how they feel, no matter what you do? It's nearly impossible. I know, Laura Lynn, that is why we get along. You have that strongness about you too. I recognize it. Okay, so, and I have been not liked because of it. People that are strong are not liked sometimes because of it, and it's hurtful, and we're not always perfect. Like, people are people. If you've ever made a mistake in your life, then you got to give other people grace to make mistakes too. And then you got to give them the forgiveness if you want to be forgiven ever. And the only way, in my opinion, is to get forgiveness is to say you're sorry and never do it again. Never doing it again is the key. That's the key. And people forget the key. So anyway, this is a video that I did on unraveling the tragic paternity. We're going to take a quick peek at some of it. We're going to look at the part I did on the paternity.
I know now that people now question the paternity of the kids, and not just Nico. It was just Nico in the beginning, but now it's spread to
Celeste,
I don't. CeCe. And
that's the thing. I don't go in and I don't forgive the schmurderers in it, the people that are in prison, but I try to have compassion for the families surrounding them, even the families of the schmurderers. I try to have compassion and yeah. But if I have somebody on my channel, say when we had Lindsay on, who I don't remember what she did to land in prison, but I think she was in prison for 3 years or something. But it was drunk driving, and or if this whole Becca Scoops thing, I have there for the grace of God go I. I went down a dark path where I partied and I had a lot of fun and I did a lot of crazy shit, and I could have ended up in a very dark, dark place. And I'm just very grateful it didn't happen to me, that I didn't have to go down those roads, that I got lucky. And so I don't judge that kind of stuff. Those are the stuff, you know, like if you murder someone, then yeah, you need to pay for it in a big way. But I don't judge people for those type of things because I've been I'm a Gen Xer, you guys. I lived a life where there weren't any video cameras, thank God, right? I did things that people didn't see. I was in college in the 90s. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I partied in the 90s. And it was a lot of fun, and I don't regret it because I am who I am today because of it. I wouldn't do a lot of it again. And I don't judge people for a lot of stuff because of the stuff that I did. But I do judge murderers. Yes, I judge them very hard. Very harsh, I guess, because here I am talking about murderers. But I do judge murder harshly. And first-degree premeditated murder and then getting a disabled man to do it for you, I judge that very harshly. And I judge Chris very harshly. So,
Bella. And we're going to kind of look at the idea of this and why it happened and who's fueling it and encouraging it, and in the end, what is the truth. So let me make sure okay. Over on Reddit, it says, and it's small, I gotta make it bigger. It says CW and his parents are still claiming they don't know if Nico is CW's child, and Shannann haters are lapping it up. This after Ronnie claimed that DA told him Nico was Chris's baby, but not which Chris, insinuating Chris Miller is the father. This is one of the stupidest rumors.
Now, for those that aren't really up on this little niche in the Watts case, Chris Miller is a man that Shannann Watts worked with Laval. You'll see a picture of him in a little bit.
I've ever heard. It's so easy to debunk. DNA was collected from CW in all 4 victims. Chris Miller's DNA was not collected. Nico's DNA was compared against Chris's Watts' DNA, and the test showed Chris Watts is Nico's father. Anyone with basic intelligence understands this. I can't believe people fall for such obvious BS. ETA, note to any Shannann bashing cultists, don't even bother commenting on this post. Your comments will be reported and you will be blocked. Learn to read Rule 2 of this sub and seriously seek help. So there we see that the idea arose that possibly Nico was not Chris's baby, but the girls that hadn't happened yet. But then this happened. Chris Watts' attorney wanted DNA swabs from daughters' necks. It wasn't to prove that the daughters were the DNA. Wasn't to prove that it was their Chris's child. It was to prove who had their hands or their hands on their necks or their face or whatever. To prove who unalived them, because Chris jumped on that little story that Agent Tammy Lee told about chicks are crazy, right? So, and that Shannann did it. So here we have the bodies of 2 young girls are submerged in crude oil for 4 days before authorities discovered them, according to court documents filed by an attorney defending the girls' father against accusations that he unalived his children and wife. The motion filed Friday by Christopher Watts' attorney, James Merson, also asked that DNA swabs be taken from the girls' necks. The request quotes an expert who believes the oil would not contaminate DNA, and since samples can be obtained after putting your hands on somebody's neck. Authorities separately announced that the Weld County Coroner's Office had performed autopsies on Friday and confirmed the bodies of 34-year-old Shannann, 4-year-old Bella, and 3-year-old Celeste Watts. So here we have the reason that they requested the DNA on the girls. Moving along, here we have Chris Watts' father, his theory on baby Nico's real father, even after they were told who was the father of, they did get the DNA back on who was the father of baby Nico.
Hello, YouTube watchers. Welcome back. Today I'll be looking at 3 interviews that Ronnie Watts gave, the latest of which was less than a year ago. The other 2 were at the police station in Colorado the day Chris confessed. One was before the confession, the other was after. The first clip I'm going to show you is from Ronnie's 2020 interview where he reveals which confession he believes. Later on, we'll hear his thoughts on the other confession. And for those who watched my last video and thought I was a little hard on Twats Jr., my view is, hurt a child or an animal, and that makes you fair game. It also makes you a twat.
Well, the hurt and the pain I seen in that boy's face that day, I believe what he told me sitting there. He just like, as far as emotions, he just like me. When he told me, he said, I cannot put them with her after what she did. And after that said she was evil. And I believe him.
Now let's listen very, very carefully to the moment Chris confesses and what he says Shannann did to the children, because it doesn't sound like choke to me. Initially, Chris says she smothered them. Ronnie says smothered or choked. And as Twats is apt to do, he goes with his father's suggestion of choked, and the rest is history. In this clip, an officer comes into the room to interview Ronnie for the first time, as Chris is in the other room being interviewed by Tammy. And thank goodness, most of the videos I found had subtitles because this guy is very difficult to understand. So I'll be jumping around between the 3 videos, but I'll label them
Ronnie
either.
is really hard to understand. So Ronnie's questioning whether the baby Nico is even his, and
Yeah, how dare Shannann reach out and send them a sonogram of their grandchild?
What an evil witch. How dare she?
so, and he,
All right, moving on. So we know
he says at the end, remember when he was saying Shannann sent Ronnie a photo of the sonogram after her doctor's appointment on August 8th. Here, I think Shannann is trying to bridge that gap, that nutgate gap, and try to smooth things over. I think she's already told Chris that she's going to try to make things work with her family.
She sent this picture of sonogram to me at 8:01 my time, 6 o'clock morning. No, I haven't enough on it, no, nothing. Nothing hurt. Well, okay, I'm sure. At 1:30 that afternoon, she texted back, wanted to share the picture of the baby. And she's reaching out. But that's when she told her.
and they somehow fault her for this.
They didn't do paternity on the 2 girls because it wasn't asked. So they've only done paternity on Nico, and Nico is his. So now people question whether now, because CeCe was never, we're going to see pictures where CeCe looks just like Chris as a child. She looks like Shannann. They all use. I've put pictures up repeatedly where I believe they are all his children. I believe they all look alike too. Hey, Cowboy RC. First baby always favors the father. CeCe looks like his sister. Yeah, she does actually. But she also looks like Chris. There was a photo, I think it's in this video that we're going to see, where I compare the 2 pictures. If it's not in here, I will definitely find it and I will post it over in my community for everyone to see.
They fault her for reaching out.
So they're faulting her for reaching out, saying it's something suspicious. I mean, how dare she do that?
To the next one, we see that Dr. Phil reveals paternity of Nico Lee Watts, an emotional show with Shannann's parents and brother at TCRS revisits original theories. Dr. Phil confirms paternity of Nico Lee Watts. The Daily Mail has released the preview clip of Monday's Dr. Phil Part 2 in the show dealing with the Watts family murders. Part of the factual findings of the show. Hold on a second. Junebug, knock that off. He's giving me love bites, but they hurt. Chris Watts was the father of the part of the factual findings of the show. Now, not the show's strength, it has to be said, is a medical report proving Chris Watts was the father of the unborn child. Not that this was even in dispute, but in a case as fluid as this one, where reality seems to shift almost on a whim, it's good to get certainty. Brick by brick, we're building a solid scenario for this case. So I won't dare show Dr. Phil because...
Yeah, no, we don't show Dr. Phil because he'll strike you at every turn.
Registry.
So I will link this video. We go on and we go into all the pregnancies. We talk a little bit more about who Chris is, Chris Miller. I don't know. But let's keep going because I'll run out of time if I show you it all. Chris, there's a People article where after unaliving his pregnant wife, Chris Watts claimed the baby she was carrying wasn't his. Here's another article. Chris Watts' mistress said he claimed his wife's baby was not his. And this is the video that has been getting a lot of views, my short that gave me the idea to, oh, I'm sorry. Are the commercials getting intense? Do I need to adjust? Somebody said they were getting intense last time and I haven't changed my settings and I meant to look at them. If you remind me after the show, or yeah, I'll try to remember to look after the show. I'm sorry. I didn't change my settings, so I don't know why the commercials are getting intense. But this was a short that has been getting so many views lately. I just wonder, like, why? Because it's a pretty old short that I did. But this is the video of Chris reacting to little CeCe's pregnancy announcement.
What in the world? You gotta be kidding me. She's been hiding this from me, Bella? Has she been hiding this from me? Where's she at, Bella? Oh, she's been hiding this from me, Bella. Where's she at?
Right here.
What?
No, she does sound happier, right, when she said right here. So a lot of people will say in this video, like, how did he not see her? But there was this huge black and white chair, huge one of those rocker chairs that didn't, like a glider chair, not like a rocker, but it was a glider. And it was a huge, comfortable chair, and she was hiding behind it. I think this was during the time where Chris was parroting fatherhood, and you can tell he's talking a lot like how Shannann probably talked to Bella, mimicking and parroting her.
What in the world? You gotta be kidding me. She's been hiding this from me, Bella? Has she been hiding this from me? Where's she at, Bella? Oh, she's been hiding this from me, Bella. Where's she at?
Right here.
What?
CeCe was going to be a challenge for them if they didn't get a control over it, because CeCe did run the family, did run the show, but I mean, she was a strong-willed child. What do you do with strong-willed children? You just try to deal with them. So we're going to kind of mix now and look at the pregnancies between CeCe and Bella. And then we'll go into Nicole's pregnancy. We're in the home stretch for an NK. So this is the blog that Shannann had for her first pregnancy over on Reddit. There's a blog that Shannann had made about her pregnancy with Bella. And this is the blog. This is the journey of Bella Marie. Started in 2013. There's 78 posts. We're not going to go through them all, obviously, but this is just her documenting her first pregnancy, all the things that she did during the pregnancy, all the things. They went to some concerts, the things that they were buying, just lots of stuff. Lots of pictures of Bella in the womb. Boy, lots of pictures. Lots of pictures of her standing in front of the house with the belly, the pregnant belly. Boy, did she ever wear the same clothes? I was that way, though. I used to buy clothes after clothes after clothes. So, and then the creating of Bella's room. I'll make sure to put the link there if you guys want to take a peek at it. Do you guys want to take a look at a few of them, or have you seen them before? Was Cindy's mini-me sent accidentally? I don't think so. I think that, oh, thank you, Laurelyn. I really appreciate that. I think it was Chris's. And then we have this video that shows some of the photos of getting ready for all of the babies, all of the pregnancies. I will be sure to put a link. I have some of these in my collection too. I have a video. This is one of my favorite videos of Bella and CeCe. CeCe was born. This is a photo of Shannann after just giving birth to Celeste. Bella is there with a big bow on her hair. Chris is recording, and Cindy Watts, Chris's mother, is bringing little Celeste over to Shannann and Bella so that Bella can meet her for the first time. I've heard that. I have heard that as well, that the reason a baby will look like the father is that so the father knows it's his. Like, all babies supposedly look like the dad at birth, but I think that's a wives' tale. Hold on, I lost where I was. I mean, it obviously is a wives' tale because I've seen videos of Black women giving birth to white babies and vice versa. And if there's any type of genetic gene in your body, it can be recessed and it can show up. And there's just a lot of stuff that can happen with births.
CeCe? Be nice, be nice. Look at her. Hi, CeCe. She's beautiful. Be nice. Be nice. What do you think of that? Is that your sissy? What do you...
Women also had to bleed during their first intercourse too to prove that they were virgins, and that's not always the case either. We know that women don't always bleed, so I mean, there's a lot of things that are wrong about births and women.
Hey.
She looks shocked.
Say hi. Be nice. That's your baby sister. Say hi, CeCe. Be nice.
touch your head? Look at her. Touch your head. See the nose? Nice. Say hi, CeCe. We say CeCe? Be careful. Is that her leg? Is that her feet? Is that her knee? Knee. Careful. Careful. You want her hat? Oh, you're so sweet. What a sweet. You want to give Sissy a kiss? Give her a kiss. Okay. Oh, good job, Bella. That's good job. Here, give her a kiss. Oh, good girl. Oh. You got a picture of that.
I'm recording it.
Oh. You want to hold her? Oh, my goodness. Good girl. You're so sweet. Did she have a kiss? She loves you. Good girl, Bella. You're so sweet.
Give her a kiss, Bella.
Give her kisses. It's
The
okay.
whole give her kisses all the time was very annoying. That's something that we were forced to do as children, give kisses. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to see that, like, yeah, no, we don't need to give people kisses. Yeah, my mom would have been 90 if she was with us today. That's how old this tale is. The Wives' Tale. Both my kids look more like their dad at birth and then look more like me later. That's the full saying I learned in cultural anthropology. Of course, there are always exceptions. Yeah. I can't seem to, while that was playing, I was looking for the video. I know I did a video of comparing CeCe and Chris Miller and pictures, and I can't seem to find it. And I thought it was in that video that we were going to look at that I did in the past. So I think it will have to be something that I look for and throw it up in my community tabs for you guys, because I'm not seeing it. But there are photos that I've done where I've put the two side by side, photos of CeCe and Chris. There's photos of Chris as a child where I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks just like CeCe. And so I threw it up, and I don't know where I threw it up on. So I will have to find it for you guys. Okay, let's keep going. And so now we're in the home stretch with the mistress. In a video, in a live that we did last week, I was reading and they started talking about Nicole Kessinger and how she reportedly was pregnant too. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then there was something too where Chris was saying something to his friend that he thought that maybe NK had his baby and he just wasn't aware of it. And so I went off on a tangent and I was looking around and I found this over this. Hold on. Sorry. Let me get it ready for you. I found this over on TikTok. This creator talking about Nicole Kessinger having a baby. Oh shoot, hold on. Hold on 1 second, you guys. It's not playing. Hold on.
That Watts was responsible for the disappearance of his entire.
Oh no.
So you are telling me
Sorry, guys. Sometimes I have so many things up on I need another monitor so I can, because right now I've got about 30 tabs up and it gets a little crazy for me. Okay, so we're moving on to Nicole Kessinger. Especially with ethnic mixing, my friend's dad rejected my friend's daughter because he looked white. Yeah, that's a tricky one with the whole ethnic mixing. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for saying that, Karen. Sometimes I think I'm not sensational enough and I don't get enough views because of it, but I just can't bring myself to be that way. I think it's the bland hair that made Chris think CeCe wasn't his. Two brunette parents can each carry a recessive for blonde hair. Well, Chris was kind of like the same color of hair as CeCe when he was younger. He had, and so was Shannann. Shannann actually dyed her hair black. She had more of a, they both had more brown, sandy blonde kind of hair. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you guys for saying that. It really means a lot that you guys say that to me. Especially now when I'm stressed out, I start to question if I'm doing well. And so that means a lot to me. That came right at the right time. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so here is Nicole Kessinger, if she had a baby. Oh, and if you guys could just do me a favor and like this content, it would help me out a lot too. Thanks.
nobody is talking about the fact Nicole Kessinger gave birth to a baby boy on February 18th, 2019.
So this person is saying that Nicole Kessinger gave birth to a baby.
Talking about the fact Nicole Kessinger,
a baby boy on February 18th, 2019. Then this person says this is supposed to be him.
Did y'all hear that allegedly February 18, 2019, Chris Watts' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, allegedly gave birth to their child, which was a boy? You guys, I did a rabbit hole on this whole topic when it came down to Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger's relationship. Now, they had a few months of having an affair during the last final part of Shannann, Bella, and CeCe's life. This was the summer. Okay. Now, according to what I looked into, there was a time when Nicole Kessinger was interviewed, right, about their relationship and the details of their relationship, their intimacy, all that kind of stuff. And one of the parts of the interview, she did mention how something about expired condoms or something like that. Okay, protection, expired protection. Let me say that. So she mentioned in the interview that they had at one point had used expired protection. This was toward the end of the affair, and she did mention how she looked up on her phone when do so-and-so protection expired. And yeah, that was one of the search entries on her phone, as well as other things that are very, very strange and suspicious and creepy. But this woman has not been seen or heard from since this case. So it's been going on 6 years that this woman has disappeared, like poof, off the earth. Some people believe she's in a witness protection program. Some people believe that she's in a different country. Some people believe that she's in a different state. There's a lot of different rumors going around about where her location is, but I cannot understand how this woman has gotten away with so many things.
Nobody can.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole, but
nobody can understand that. So this reportedly is the child. I mean, it looks like CeCe. Does it not? If it's true. What are you guys thinking? Nobody's saying anything, which is weird. So this is all I have found on the possible mistress and the baby. I will keep looking on that for you guys. If anyone has any of that information, and if you want to email it to me, you can. It's at parawomenradio@gmail.com, and we can take a look at it even more. While that was playing, I did do a quick Google search to look at Chris Watts as a child. I think this looks like CeCe right here. And I don't think that CeCe is the other person's child, although the other person looks just like Chris Watts. So the other Chris looks like Chris Watts. So but I will find, I'll do something where I bring up a comparison of CeCe and the Chris's, because I really don't believe that CeCe is Chris Miller's, and I think it's really kind of like CeCe's gone, and so is Shannann, and I think it's really important to honor her memory as being who she was, and she was CeCe. So CeCe does look just like Shannann, but there's also photos where Bella looks just like Shannann too as a little girl. So I mean, if you put them together, I can pick the family. I can pick both Shannann and Chris out of the kids. So, but if you think otherwise, like I said, I'm okay with it. There's nothing more I can say about that. So we're going to keep going. We're going to move on, and we're going to wrap things up with talking about Frankie Jr. He won his case against the armchair detective in England, and we're going to look at that filing and go from there. Have you guys heard about the Dragonflies? It's my membership program over on YouTube. I release all the videos early to the Dragonflies, and we do a few extra things for them. Well, here, let me show you a little bit about it. And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really, really, really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a Dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my Dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the Dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you. Yes, we would love to have you, and we hope that you will consider joining us. I will put the link down in the show notes if you would like to become a Dragonfly. So let me get Frankie's post up. Frankie is Shannann's brother, Frankie Jr. He has he had a lawsuit going on with one of the creators over on YouTube, who has since lost his channel due to everything, the lawsuit, and it can no longer ever be on YouTube ever. He can't ever make money on YouTube again. So I love having you as a Dragonfly. So he did a post where he says, I won my lawsuit in the UK. Here's the public link so all you can read it for yourselves. Thank you all for your help. I wouldn't have been able to get this far without you all. I'm forever grateful. God bless you all. The remedies hearing will be next. I have to deal with so much evil I had to deal with so much evil to get to this point. Years of abuse, harassment, and defamation on YouTube. I just bit my tongue and let my amazing attorneys take care of this nightmare. I couldn't have done this without their phenomenal work. Thank you, the solicitors. God bless you all. Subject to editorial corrections. So it seems that this UK creator on YouTube would post daily videos about Frankie. I think at one point there were some naked photos that they posted about him. It got really down and dirty for Frankie, and so I am happy that he won, because nobody should be treated the way that they treated him. Here is the case of Frankie Rzuceks versus Alan Vinicombe, and Alan Vinicombe is the armchair detective. His channel has been taken down. So, taking down a conspiracy theorist, how we won the first UK case to shut down a harassing YouTube channel. For too long, social media has given free rein to individuals who exploit grief, tragedy, and real-life suffering for financial and personal gain. Conspiracy theorists in particular have built entire platforms around spreading misinformation, twisting the truth, and inciting harassment, all while being rewarded with views, ads, revenue, and an ever-growing audience. On February 26, 2025, we changed that. The High Court ruled in our favor in the case of Rzuceks versus Vinicombe, marking the first time in UK history that a conspiracy theorist has been forced to shut down a YouTube channel due to harassment and defamation. This wasn't just about winning a lawsuit. It was about proving that victims of online harassment have legal recourse, that social media abuse has consequences, and that people cannot use platforms like YouTube to terrorize innocent families. That's why I think something's going to happen to Fancy if she doesn't stop. Shutting down a conspiracy website, a notorious feat. Taking down a website of social media channel dedicated to conspiracy-driven harassment is no easy feat. For years, platforms like YouTube have been slow to act. Even when clear violations occur, they often hide behind free speech arguments, despite the fact that targeted abuse, defamation, and harassment are not protected speech. They are legal violations. Even when channels spread dangerous misinformation, tech platforms hesitate to act, fearing backlash or accusations of censorship. As a result, people like Alan Vinicombe have been able to operate freely, creating false narratives and amassing large followings of like-minded individuals who continue their harassment campaigns beyond the screen. This case proves that shutting down harassment-driven online presence is possible through legal action. The case, A Family's Nightmare Made Worse by Conspiracy Theories. The case centers around the 2018 Watts family murders in the U.S. For Shannann's family, the Rzuceks, the nightmare didn't end there. Instead of being allowed to grieve, they were subjected to relentless online abuse. A wave of conspiracy theories emerged, claiming that the murder was staged and that the grieving family members were complicit, and that they were somehow actors in a grand cover-up. Yeah, it was like they even tried to say that the mother and the father and the brother, they were all in on it. Among the most aggressive figures behind this campaign was Alan Vinicombe, a UK-based YouTuber. He made live stream after live stream, spending hours each day ranting, accusing, and inciting his audience to attack the Rzuceks family online. His reach extended far beyond YouTube. He encouraged his followers to harass the family in real life, to make abusive calls, to send hateful messages, and to flood social media with defamation. When the family sought legal help, he escalated his attacks even further, turning his attention to their supporters and legal team, including myself and the lawyers at Cohen Davis. He weaponized his online following to orchestrate false reports against us, bombarded our office with emails and calls, and spread fabricated claims designated to undermine our legal efforts. But they refused to be intimidated. They fought to hold YouTube accountable. The victory means what the victory means in the future. Spreading conspiracy theories at the expense of innocent victims is not just unethical, it is unlawful. The court ruling is a watershed moment for online harassment law. For years, conspiracy theorists have hidden behind social media anonymity, believing that the law does not apply to them. This case proves otherwise. It established that spreading conspiracy theories at the expense of innocent victims is not just unethical, it is unlawful. Social media harassment can have real world legal consequences. Victims do not have to suffer in silence. Justice is possible. But more than anything, the victory belongs to every person who has ever been harassed online. What's next? While the court has ruled in our favor, the case is not quite over. We now await a final hearing to determine the legal remedies, costs, and restrictions that will be placed on Vinicombe coming forward. But the biggest battle has already been won. A harassing YouTube channel has been shut down. A conspiracy theorist has been held accountable. And online harassment victims everywhere now have a precedent to fight back. So, and then there was also this that was linked. This is from the England and Wales High Court decision. This is their legal paperwork. The background, this is a claim for defamation and harassment brought by Frankie William Rzuceks, the claimant, against Alan Vinicombe, the defendant. In summary, the case arises out of content distributed by the defendant across various media platforms, notably including the YouTube channel Armchair Detective Blue. The defendant is accused of promoting unfounded conspiracy theories and making allegations concerning the tragic events known as the Watts case, including the murders of the claimant's sister, Shannann Watts, her daughters, and her unborn child. Is also claimed that he published defamatory statements, including that the claimant's crowdfunding campaign to fund this claim was in some way fraudulent or dishonest. Apparently, Frankie had some kind of crowdfunding campaign, and they really jumped on him for that. I don't know the extent of that whole story, though. In turn, the defendant counterclaims that the claimant has coordinated a campaign of harassment online and person against him. Let's see if we can find. Okay, here it says, Mr. Vinicombe appeared before me and accepted that both the defense and the counterclaim were not compliant with the procedural rules. He said that this is because he had been unable to get legal advice and representation, in part because of the cost risks that he seeks to address with his application for security for costs. He explained the challenges for him to put together a technically compliant defense as a layperson with dyslexia, and said that the latest defense was his best effort. He submitted that the claimant should not win the claim on a mere technicality. The analysis and conclusion was, having considered the latest defense dated the 15th of May, 2024, is clear that despite the unequivocal indication given by Master Giddon that this was his last chance, the defendant has not provided a defense that complies with procedural rules set out of CPR 16.5, asserting that the defendant will provide a different version of events. So this had been going on for a while. He had been saying he was having a hard time finding somebody to help with his legal issues, and Frankie had done like a GoFundMe or something like that, and so people were supporting him that way. It took a long time for this case to 3 or 4 or 5 years. I really seriously thought that nothing was going to come of it. I thought it was just going to kind of like do nothing. But he won. He won. And so I think people need to be more careful. You can lose your YouTube channel, and that's something very serious in my opinion. Not that it matters about the hair color, but Shannann has been accused of being not a real Italian and dyeing her hair to look Italian. Not true. Her mom is very into being Italian. Yeah, her mom is very Italian. Her mom cooks amazing. I love watching her mom's cooking channel. I think she's getting a book out. I hope her mom gets a book out. Her mom cooks Polish and Italian food. Because I guess apparently Frank is Polish. So that is what happened with the Frankie thing. He won. And I have one final thing I wanted to take a look at on the last Watts live that we did. I found this photo that Plunder did of Nicole Kessinger's doppelganger. I realized later that you guys weren't seeing what I was showing you. So here is another little added bonus. So one of Nicole Kessinger's doppelgangers that was found out in public did a little video on Nicole Kessinger. Oh, shoot.
People keep telling me I look like Nicole Kessinger, probably because they want me to drink a tall glass of bleach, but just for funsies, here's my impression of her. She throws on her glasses and Googles, "Did people hate Amber Fry just like Nicole Kessinger did?" "I think I'm good," says Rosemary. She's a comedian on TikTok. The link is below. Most likely.
So this is Plunder, and she did a quick video on Nicole Kessinger. This is one of the lookalikes. Here is the link. Hold on, let me make sure that you're seeing it this time. You are, okay. This is the doppelganger that is Nicole Kessinger.
People keep telling me I look like Nicole Kessinger, probably because they want me to drink a tall glass of bleach, but just for funsies, here's my impression of her. Did people hate Amber Fry? I think I'm good.
So at least this girl has a good
people keep telling me I
sense
look
of
like
humor about it. I know, like, I've put up some videos before of some people have claimed that they found Nicole Kessinger and they're like up in arms, like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't put somebody up that's not her. And it's like, you know, they're all up in arms, but here's this person thinking it's hilarious and she's doing a video about Amber Fry about it. I think people have lost their sense of humor on some things.
Like Nicole Kessinger, probably because they want me to drink a tall glass of bleach, but just for funsies, here's my impression of her. Did people hate Amber Fry? I think I'm good.
And she literally did do that, didn't she? She Googled to see if people hated Amber Fry. Yeah, I thought everybody knew that. Hold on. I thought everybody knew that Shannann was half Polish, half Italian, because I guess I just knew it because Sandy talks about it all the time in her cooking channel. Yeah, she's a great cook. I think she has a cookbook coming out. Not sure though. I hope she gets one out because I would love to. I'm going to do a cooking show and talk about true crime, and I'll probably throw in some of her videos one day. Okay, so let me see what. Yep, she was half Italian, half Polish. I'm half Swedish, and my kids are 1/4. My kids have learned a lot of Swedish language and culture. So what if Shannann was half or 1/4 Italian? I know. What does it matter? I mean, I've looked up my cultural, and I'm like a quarter Swedish. I'm probably like half English, and I think they said no, no, I don't know. I'm English, Swedish, and Scottish. So what is, and I think that it's been rumored that there's either some kind of there's something that makes us some of our side darker than others. So it's either Indian or African. So Americans have a little bit of everything. A lot of us have a little bit of everything in us. Yeah, Bella is so sweet. I think I saw the other day, like Bella, like Celeste would have been 9. I mean, 9 years old, and then that would have made what Bella was. How much older was Bella than? Oh, I don't know. I'm not ready to do math today. Anyway, they're so sweet. No Dahmer recipes, I promise. No Dahmer recipes. I couldn't watch movies and things of people cannibalists for the longest time. I couldn't. I remember there was a movie about this the Donner Party, and it just ruined me. I was like, I can't. It still grosses me out to think about people eating people. Anyway, yes, no Dahmer. No. Okay, guys, I think that's all I have for tonight or for today. Ooh, it's 4:44. Angel number. The angels are watching over us. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you all for being here. Laura Lynn, thank you so much for being here, for moderating. I love you, and I've missed you so much. I've missed all of you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me. I see Victoria, Karen, Cowboy, Science, not Stigma. I don't know, Science. I don't know if I've seen you around. If I haven't, if I've missed you, I'm sorry, but I want to welcome you because I haven't seen you before. So hello to you. And I see Let Us Spider 7. It's good to see you. Not Lotus Spider 7. I haven't seen you around in a while. Anybody else that I'm missing? I see Karen. I see Shuhu, Victoria. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But it's so good to see all of you guys here. Thank you for stopping by. And hi, Daniel. After dealing with thousands of professional portraits based upon NK's large skull size, I have a huge head. In relation to her short skeletal height. Well, I'm tall, so I strongly suspect that NK may be a male to female trans. Oh, she could. I don't know. She was an interesting mistress to choose, that's for sure. I don't think she was any more attractive than Shannann, but I mean, that's a matter of opinion because I know some people, we did a poll once and some people thought she was a little more attractive, but that's all personal opinion. And I don't know. I don't think she was, but I mean, I also think that Chris liked the boys too, so I can't say for sure. I think Chris is enjoying his time in prison with the boys. So they were gorgeous kiddos, and I hope that the Rzuceks get to be grandparents again someday. It would be really nice for them. But I just see they're in so much pain, the Rzuceks. I send my love to the Rzuceks always, even though I know they don't like me. I do send my love towards them because I can't imagine what they've gone through. And I know that some of you don't like Frankie. I've never had a problem with Frankie, and I think what happened to them was horrible. So I'm glad he won. Okay, guys. Yeah, she practiced baby wise. That was not good. Not a good thing at all. That alone says everything about her. I don't think it says everything about her. I think that she was trying to be a good mom. And baby wise was out there. I know that was during the time where the Duggars were doing baby wise. That's how I learned about baby wise. I was like, what? You can keep a baby on a blanket? Oh, wait, you got to smack them to do it? No. But I don't know if Shannann did that, but I just that was why I would never do baby wise. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go for real now. I could stay here and talk about this forever. And Shannann was gorgeous, and the girls were gorgeous, and I'm sure Nico would have been gorgeous. And yeah, this is a tragic case, just a real tragedy. All right, guys, I will continue to look for that stuff on the Chris Miller stuff and get it up over in my community section. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still telling you this. Oh, and by the way, my phone is working too. So if anybody ever tried to text me, I didn't want to announce that my phone was broke because I was kind of scared. I didn't want it to be out there that I was in my apartment without a phone. But my phone is back and it's working, and I am back on track. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm finally going to tell you this. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, Laura Lynn, for being here. Bye, everyone.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart